Today on the Wise News Network, we have a special guest, singer, songwriter, and national recording artist Bailey Marie Griggs. Now, do you go by Bailey Marie or Bailey Marie Griggs?
Normally, I go by Bailey Marie. And
Okay.
so there is some times where I do go by Bailey Marie Griggs. That's mainly in like the acting world where they want my full name, but I guess you can say my stage name is Bailey Marie.
Bailey Marie.
Yes.
Now, where are you from?
I'm from Gastonia, North Carolina. And so whenever I go out to Nashville, I always have to say I'm from like the Charlotte area because nobody knows where Gastonia is. But yeah, Gastonia, North Carolina, born and raised, still live there to this day. So yeah.
Well, how did you get interested into music? And I know you've done some acting, some plays. Tell us a little bit of what you have done in the past.
Yeah, so at a very young age, I started doing musical theater, and I was in so many musicals and plays, and I think from doing all of that, I started taking acting lessons. So I started taking acting before I even got into singing at all, and so I started taking acting lessons, and then I was like, I really like singing as well. I never knew that anything I could make a career out of it. I didn't know any of that. But I just randomly started taking vocal lessons. And as soon as I started taking vocal lessons, I fell in love with singing and I fell in love with figuring out how to sing. And so as soon as I started doing that, we kind of started reaching out to other people, getting other people's advice. And the biggest thing that I landed, it was as soon as I turned 10 years old, I landed the Apollo Theater in New York. And so that was like crazy because I had nothing. I've never done anything with singing. And then I landed that. And I was like, I didn't expect anything of it. And then I actually went out there and I performed. And it was super surreal because I was 10 years old. I was like one of the youngest while I was out there. And so that was really cool.
Yeah, I saw that on your resume. That is cool. How did you get started into music? Did you start with the piano? I mean, you can also play. You're a songwriter
Right.
and a great singer, but you also play musical instruments.
Right. So something that a lot of people don't know about me is that I actually didn't start playing guitar until about 2 years ago.
Oh,
And just because I was told, like, well, I first started off as kind of a pop artist. And as soon as COVID hit, I kind of completely transitioned my whole musical style just because whenever I started putting out original music, I was 10 years old. I was really into the pop industry. I loved listening to pop music. And just as I got older, it was more like I really like country. I feel like I was raised country, and so that's just kind of what I listen to, and that's what my voice kind of goes towards. And so whenever I was younger, I started traveling out to LA a lot. And then whenever COVID hit, I couldn't travel out to LA. So we started traveling out to Nashville because Nashville is a lot closer than LA. And so we started working with a lot of producers out there, one of being Kent Wells. He was the first producer I worked with out in Nashville. And that's whenever I first started really trying to find my way of music. And it just happened that the country pop element, that's what I kind of leaned towards. And whenever I started writing music, that's whenever I was like, this is when I need to learn guitar. And so that's when I finally decided to learn guitar.
now going to Nashville and traveling, I saw a picture with you with Dolly Parton.
Yeah,
How was that experience?
that was crazy. So Kent Wells that I mentioned before, he's her producer. And so whenever we first got out to Nashville, it was like our first time meeting with him. And we knew that he was like her producer. And me and my family, we're not really the type of family to be like starstruck or anything. But whenever we got into like his studio, he got a phone call and we could hear Dolly on the other line. And we were like, oh, this is cool. But like a year later, we always knew that like one day, hopefully we can meet her. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. But we finally got the chance, and we made a trip to Nashville, and we went out there and went to like her band rehearsal because she was getting ready to go perform somewhere. So they had band rehearsal. And so it was me and then some of Kent's family. We went out there and we got to meet her. She signed my first guitar ever that I ever started learning on. And then she also signed my guitar that I play out now with. And so it's really cool because she spent so much time talking to us while like her whole band was there. She immediately, as soon as she got there, came to talk to us. And so that really reflected a lot on her just because she did not try and rush through anything. She wanted to make sure everybody got their pictures. She wanted to make sure everybody was good with everything. And so she was just a really nice person.
That's cool. So very personable.
Yeah.
Spent time with you.
Yeah. One thing I will say is she's insanely short. Like, she had on heels that were really tall and she was still like half my height. And so that whole thing about Dolly being short, she's really short.
Well, TV can make you look any size you need to
Yeah.
be, you know. Well, that's great. Like training, you said you had vocal lessons. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, you started when you was around 10,
Right.
and so you basically train your voice. I mean, how much work do you spend on that?
Yeah, so whenever I first started taking vocal lessons, I started with someone named Bo Stroop. And one thing I'll say about him is I went in there, he has like a whole vocal lesson program that he has. And we heard about him and we were like, well, we'll try this out. I've never had vocal lessons before. And he's really good at like taking somebody and making them better. And so I went in there super shy. I didn't really know much about singing. And he made me feel really, really welcomed. And so I felt like the time that I worked with him, he showed me different breathing techniques and he expanded my range and just getting to know my voice better helped with everything. And then whenever I started doing original music, I started working with other people as well. And it's just like it took a whole team to like really figure out what my voice was and try and like expand my voice.
Now, how did you learn to play the guitar in 2 years? I mean, some people spend 20 years.
Yeah.
How did you self-taught or did you take lessons?
Well, that's a funny story because I've always worked with a guy named David Ryan. He lives in Dallas, North Carolina, and um, I always went to his recording studio. He was the first recording studio that I ever recorded anything in. And me and him, we're now so close. Like we have like our own group chat, and like we're just like really good friends. And he literally plays everything. And so he was just like, I could teach you to play guitar, and I was like, okay. And so we sat down. It wasn't even like we had guitar lessons because me and him were so not like on a daily schedule or a weekly schedule. We're just like, just come by whenever you want and just I'll teach you some stuff. And so um, that's where it all started. We kind of just I picked up his guitar and he showed me some chords, and then I went home and I practiced them, and then it's kind of like I'm self-taught, but he was also there to like help me. And so yeah.
Well, that's amazing
Yeah.
that you can do that in that short period of time, but the comfort level, it just sounds like it was not very stressful.
Not at all. It was super easy and like not guitar. Guitar hurt my fingers whenever I first started learning, and then you just build up like the strength in your fingers to learn it. But it was like if I want to write music, I need to learn this. But I started on ukulele, and
Okay.
I started trying to figure out ukulele, and that's the first song I ever wrote was on ukulele.
I know the pads of your fingers when you first start
Hmm.
playing, they're soft and it
Yeah,
hurts, and then
yeah,
after a while they get hard
harder.
and it's easier to fret the
Oh yeah.
keys. Yeah,
I'll say
yeah.
bar chords were the hardest thing for me to learn. And then it was like one day I turned my finger the opposite direction and I got it. And I was like, oh, I've been doing this wrong the whole time and it's not that difficult. But he likes to say that he taught me cowboy chords and that's what I know now. And so I can definitely get better, but that's how it kind of all
That's
started.
cool. That's a cool story. Um, Now, your music, you're a songwriter and you've written a lot of songs.
Right.
And one just came out was November Air, and it came out a few days ago. And Heroes is another one. And then when I went to your playlist, I didn't realize you had so many songs out.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorites? And before you answer that, how do you come up with lyrics? You dream them, you wake up and say, I think I'll jot this down. How does that happen?
Yeah. So whenever I come up with lyrics, there's like, it's either I am sitting on my bed by myself and it's just like I have an idea and I'm like, I have to put something together. It's too good to not like do anything with. And so I really just think about things, and something that like I hear what people say and I'm like, oh, that'd be really good for a song. And so I remember I was sitting at church one day. This is the first thing that pops in my head about lyrics, but I was sitting at youth group at church one day, and the youth pastor, he was talking about like rule breaking and like breaking rules. And I was in church, but I was like, that'd be really great for a song. And so I went home and I wrote a whole song called Rule Breaker. And it was just like, I hear things in my head and I'm like, oh, that'd be a really good song. And so that's kind of how it like all comes together.
Do you have a favorite song up to date? Because I know there's going to be
Yeah.
plenty more, but do you have a favorite?
I think, well, it really, I'm kind of biased because every single new song that I write, I'm like, oh, this is the best one. But like, even if it's not. But I would say a song that I really, really, really love is one that I haven't put out. And there's a reason that I haven't put it out. I'm just kind of waiting for the right moment to. And it's called Cold Hands. And I played it out a lot of places, and it's a very emotional song. And it makes people very emotional. But I would say that that's probably one that I'm most proud of, just because it was the first song that I ever wrote on piano. David Ryan, he showed me like 3 chords on the piano, and then I was like, okay, I'll go home and I'll write you a song with these 3 chords. And that was the song that I came up with.
Now, the piano, how long have you been playing piano?
I'm still working on piano.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. I really, really focused on guitar. Just so I know I wanted to play out places, and it's really easy to just bring your guitar with you. And so I'm still working on piano.
Gotcha. Now, on social media, I've seen you sing a lot of national anthems.
Right.
You've been over to the NASCAR tracks. You've been in the Hornets arena. Where all have you played? Has it been mostly in the Gaston County, Charlotte area, or are you starting to venture out more?
Yeah, so for national anthems, I've done a lot in Charlotte and at like the Motor Speedway, and I've done so many at the Motor Speedway. But I started off the national anthem. I still remember this. It was at the Charlotte Checkers game, and for hockey, and so that's where I kind of all started with the national anthem. And then I booked a TV show called Swagger. And my part in the show is I'm singing the national anthem. And normally for like film, whenever you're singing, you would like go in a recording studio and just so your voice doesn't get tired. But no, I sang that national anthem like 100 times on set that day. And that's whenever I got the national anthem like down. Like I had that, and ever since I filmed that, I've not messed up the national anthem.
That's unusual to film, and you actually had to sing it
that many times. And it's like, I don't know how, but my voice never gave out. I don't know what it was, but ever since then, I've had the national anthem, and hopefully I'll continue that. But yeah, I mainly sing the national anthem in Charlotte and around here. Yeah.
And you do concerts and gigs. I've
Yeah.
seen those. You've advertised those, and Christmas songs. I guess you've got a catalog of Christmas songs that you sing.
Right.
Do you have any upcoming concerts that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, so I play a lot around the Gastonia area, Charlotte area. I know one that's coming up the beginning of the year. It's going to be at Amos's in Charlotte. It's going to be a pretty big event. I'm going to be there, and we'll be playing a lot of songs. Their band's going to be there. I have a band that's going to be playing for me. So that should be really good. That's going to be January 12th. And so I'm super excited about that. And then I have a good bit of Christmas things that I really will be posting about on my social media, which is, I guess, now a good place to plug my social media. And so Facebook, it's Bailey Marie Griggs. And then on Instagram, it's Bailey_Marie 2007. And that's kind of where I post everything. And that's where I post all of my life on it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
So that's the best way to get a hold of you. I think there's email on there,
Right.
and then you've got your contacts on
Yeah,
all the
it's
social.
all on my social media.
And then your playlist. Where all can people listen to your music?
Yeah, so my music is on all streaming platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, all of it.
Now, credits. You've already handed out a few. You know, who's been instrumental in your life so far? I know there's a team behind you, I
Right.
can tell. But who would you like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, so Automatically, the first person that comes to my head is Andrew Lane. He lives in California. He's the first producer that I ever worked with. And we kind of found each other, and I went out to LA, and he kind of showed me everything. And Kent Wells and David Ryan. David Ryan's like my partner in crime in the music industry. He's literally taught me everything. And me and him have such a good relationship where it's just like we joke around all the time. And so Bo Stroop, he was the first person I ever even let hear my voice. And my mom and dad, just because they go everywhere with me and they've kind of learned everything with me. And yeah.
And you're still going to college? You're in college?
Yeah, I'm taking some college classes right now. I kind of want to go to college at Belmont University in Nashville
Okay.
just because they have a really good music program and everything like that.
Cool. Well, you're getting ready to sing a couple songs
Right.
for us, and we're excited. So viewers, stay tuned. We're going to get set up, and you're going to hear Bailey sing a couple songs, and we're excited to hear them.
Yeah, thank you.
So stay tuned, folks.
Okay, so I'm going to play an original song. This is called Hit and Run, and I wrote it out in Nashville. 7 o'clock on a Friday night, I was waiting outside when you pulled into the drive in that red Chevrolet truck with them KC lights lit up. I climbed inside, you pulled me close, said if you don't mind, let's take things slow. You told me that would be fine as your hand was sliding on my thigh. And don't think you're gonna take me out, spinning me around, lay me down. 'Cause my mama didn't raise no fool. Daddy taught me about boys like you. Don't lie and try to use those eyes, hoping we'll collide tonight. If that's what you're looking for, boy, the one that may have worked on other girls, but I ain't no hit and run. I buckled up, said let's go for a ride. You drove off past the county line. You couldn't hide what you had in mind. I knew what you were trying to do. 'Cause my mama didn't raise no fool. Daddy taught me about boys like you. Don't lie and try to use those eyes, hoping we'll collide tonight. If that's what you're looking for, boy, I ain't the one that may have worked on other girls, but I ain't no hit and run. And I've had enough, just let me out. I'll find my way back into town. You're acting like you care now. You never did anyhow. 'Cause my mama didn't raise no fool. Daddy taught me about boys like you. Don't lie and try to use those eyes, hoping we'll collide tonight. If that's what you're looking for, boy, I ain't the one that may have worked on other girls, but I ain't no hit and run. No, I ain't no hit and run. I ain't no hit and run. I'm gonna play the song that I kind of talked about. This is Cold Hands. Cold hands against my cheek,
cold hands that won't unfold. So if I fall for you, would you save me from nowhere? Warm these cold hands and be true. 'Cause I can't afford to lose you, no. Oh. And promise me that you won't leave, 'cause it takes a lot for me to believe that you won't break me like the others did. 'Cause it took a while to learn how to live. So if I fall for you, would you save me from nowhere? And warm these cold hands and be true. 'Cause I can't afford to lose you, no. Oh. Yeah, I can't afford to mess things up with you. I can't change the past. I don't know what to do to make us last. And I'm freezing without you. Can you light up my world? 'Cause I can't afford to lose you. So if I fall for you, would you save me from nowhere? Warm these cold hands and be true. 'Cause I can't afford to lose you, no. Oh, yeah, I can't afford to lose you.
So, viewers, Bailey Marie, upcoming superstar.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the Wise News Network
Yeah.
today. Viewers, check her out on all her social media, YouTube, and all the channels, and give her a shout out. Go to her concerts. She's an upcoming star. Till next time, I'm Rusty Wise for the Wise News Network. Share, like our content. See you later.